Well, hey there. It's good to see everybody again. Glad you found me. Glad you have landed here, however you got here, whatever route brought you this way. My name's John, and this is my adventures in obedience to God. Well, hey there. How are you doing? It's good to see you guys back. And for those that's your first time, welcome. My name's John, and this is my vlog. I'm glad you found it. I hope that you find some meaning in it. If you do, always remember, like, subscribe, notifications, make a comment. In the comments down below, if you can post a comment, it helps this reach other people. And the whole point is for me to encourage other Christians to pursue what God's called them to do. So where am I? Well, let me start off with where I'm not. I am not in an airplane over the South Pacific. I'm in a hotel room. It's a nice hotel room, don't get me wrong, but I'm in a hotel room. Now, how did I get here? Well, let's back up to this morning. So, got up, had a little bit of coffee, a little breakfast, packed my bags, got in a taxi, came out to the airport. That's all pretty standard. This is what I do on a last day on a trip like this. Just going to get to the airport and relax. I got 2 or 3 hours before we board, and everything's going to be great. See, I like to get places early. That's the Marine Corps in me. If you're on time, you're 15 minutes late. If you've ever been in the Marines, you've been in service, and if you've ever been in high school marching band, it's kind of the same thing. If you're on time, you're 15 minutes late. So I like to get there, get settled in. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm scrolling through social media and this, that, whatever. And you all know, up there at the top where the little notifications are, it just starts just rolling. One after the other after the other. These little red and blue swipes. A red and blue swipe would mean that American Airlines is sending me a message. Now, I've already checked in, and I have already submitted my passport information and whatever the U.S. needs for immigration. I've done all that. So I drop down the little menu thing, and it says, your flight's been delayed. Okay. The one above it says, your flight's been delayed. Okay. The one above it says, your flight's been canceled. Wait, what? My flight's been, what? Canceled? Yep. Flight's canceled. No explanation, nothing, no information, just your flight's been canceled. Then another one pops up, and it says, you've been booked on a new flight. Check your itinerary. Okay. So I check my itinerary, and my departure is Friday, August 2nd, 2024, originally. Now my ticket says Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. Well, that's 24 hours away. Now, normally, I should brush that off. It's no big deal. This one's a little bit more of a big deal. See, I'm supposed to land in Little Rock, Arkansas around 10 p.m. on Friday, August 2nd. That's important because on August 3rd at 8 a.m., I have a load-in for a show. Well, I'm going to be somewhere over Alaska at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning in Little Rock, Arkansas, local Central Standard Time. So I get on the phone, and I talk to this rep, and I talk to that rep, and I get disconnected, and I get hung up on or disconnected. I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. I got disconnected. There was interference, swamp gas, light reflecting off Venus, I don't know. It was 4 phone calls and 2 hours later before they finally said, there's not another flight. There's no way to get you to Little Rock any sooner than this rescheduled flight that departs on Saturday. Okay, well, whatever. So I get all my little luggage together, and they say the ticket counter's going to open in a couple of hours because they don't have their own ticket counter here. They share one with another airline. So I've got to wait till 2:30. Okay, 2:30 comes, I get up there, and they start to explain to me that it's something about a medical emergency on the flight over here. And I'm like, wow, I've heard this record before. We had a medical emergency on my flight over here and ended up in Anchorage, Alaska for 2 hours because the guy behind me, literally in the seat behind me, had I don't know, one of those, it was a seizure, basically, but I believe it was hypoxia induced because I think he had a sleep disorder. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. He was thrashing and kicking around, making all kinds of weird noises. And then the little thing comes up on the screen, is there a doctor on the plane? And I thought, my gosh, I've never seen that before. And it's for the seat behind me. Oh boy. We diverted to Anchorage, 2 hours on the ground. Take off, come on into Seoul. I have my trip. Now this trip, I'm going to be really transparent. This has been a struggle trip. If I planned it, it didn't happen. If it was supposed to happen, somebody else even planned it. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Now, don't get me wrong. Some wonderful things happened on this trip. And you guys have gotten to be a part of them. If you're a returning viewer, you've seen a couple of videos already. And if you're a new viewer, there's a couple of videos here on my channel that you can watch that have been the product of coming to South Korea, this particular trip. It's been a month. And it's been a long month. I was ready to get home. I was ready to get back to the States and get back into my normal routine. But no, that's not going to happen yet. And so they load us on a bus and they bring us to this hotel. Now it's a nice hotel. And I'm going to be blunt, and I'm human. I was frustrated. It was hot. We sit on the bus for a little while. It was a little stuffy. And behind me was a little family, and they had kids, and they were noisy and squealing a little bit and whatnot. And I'm looking out the window, and I'm about this far from losing my Jesus. I really was. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. All of this, the troubles getting here, the trip itself, and now I can't get out of here. And I had forgotten that sitting in the seat next to me was Jesus. Let me just be clear. I had to look at my backpack because I'm pretty sure Jesus was sitting there before I looked over there. And he said to me really bluntly, he said, you know, you could be the father of 2 young boys and a husband and traveling through all this. And man, I banged my head against the window. I was like, you gotta, oh my gosh, really? And so I'm listening, kind of focusing. These little boys are, one's about 9, one's about 3. And if you've ever traveled with kids, okay, you know this. They're just don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm not touching you. You know how that goes. And so let me frame this up too, because you need to understand when Jesus said to me, you could be traveling with a wife and 2 small children, of who I am, how I was raised and how I was brought up. First off, I would be under extreme anxiety. And then I would assume the anxiety for my spouse, because I would want there to be no inconvenience to my spouse. I would want to take care of everything for her. And then I would assume the responsibility and the anxiety of having 2 small children. And I would want to keep them from killing each other, while at the same time keeping them from disturbing all of the other people around us. And so that just kind of sunk in. That's what I felt that moment when Jesus was like, you could have a wife and 2 small children. It was about that time that they were behind me, little boys. And the little one was like, look at this, look at this. Ooh, Daddy, look at this. Ooh, Mommy, look at this. And it was a mix of English and Korean. Obviously, he's an English speaker, she's a Korean speaker, and the kids are like fluent in both. And the mother, now this was golden. So the mother goes, shh, whisper. Now, I don't know how many of you have children that are watching this, But if you have children, if you've ever babysat children, if you've ever taken care of children in public, you understand what I'm about to say. She's like, whisper. And the little 3-year-old goes, hey, look over here. There's water. It's the ocean. It is the bullhorn. Whisper, okay? It's the only way I can describe it. That's what kids do, okay? They can whisper louder than an air raid siren. And I blurted out, I laughed. And I broke. The tension broke. I broke. I laid there against the window and I just laughed. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm about to go to a 3 or 4 star hotel. They're going to provide me with meals. I'm on a bus with air conditioning. And it's just me. I don't have anybody else to worry about but me. Let me tell you a little something. It's the perspective that clicked. My niece, who I love dearly, is in Rwanda. And she is preaching, teaching, and witnessing to a village. And when I say a village, I want that to instill in you a picture of a church with a light bulb, okay? Not the churches that like I go to that have 2 screens and 2 projectors and 50,000 watts of lighting and 10,000 watts or 20,000 watts of audio and a crew of 6 or 7 and a pastor and an assistant pastor and a music leader and a full worship team, okay? They got a light bulb, okay? They don't have glass in the windows. The only window they know of is a hole. It's a hole, a square hole. That's a window. And they keep the temperature tolerable with leaves and handmade fans. And there's so many of them, they peek in through the windows to get a little morsel of what she's saying. And there's bugs, and there's dirt, and there's dust, and there's sweat. And she's over there, and she is killing it. And I am sitting here losing my Jesus on a bus going to a 3-star hotel, 4-star hotel. I don't know how you rate them. And I'm like, ooh, John, you best check yourself right now. You better check your first world privilege. And I realized then that every single thing about this trip has been a lesson. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely nuts. You know my tagline, stay in the crazy. And it has been. Everything about it has been crazy. And everything has led to me making these videos. And everything has been, I probably have subjects for 20 videos. And I'm going to try to put all of them out. But I'm not going to end right now with my typical stay in the crazy, because I want to give you the extra, okay? If this is going to be an extra day for me, I'm going to give you the extra, because there was I could do a whole Sunday school lesson, a series. I could do a series for a whole church on this. And it's so simple, it's stupid. And I was laying here in the bed and I was thinking about, I was getting ready to go down to dinner. And I was thinking about, what I was like, I need to record this. I need to put this out there. This is part of the trip. This is part of what I'm doing. And the whole time I'm thinking about it, I keep looking at my wrist. And you've probably noticed it as I'm sitting here talking and moving my hands around. But I have this thing on my wrist. And so I'm gonna hold it up here kind of close. Hopefully it'll focus on it and you can see it. It says status pending. Now, nothing makes you feel more like a piece of luggage than to have somebody put a luggage tag on you that says status pending. Where's the message in that? What does status pending mean? That means we don't know. We don't know what to do with you. I don't know what they're going to do with me. I don't know what my future holds. My status is pending. Now, throughout this entire series so far, and it's a short series, I'm only 3 videos into it. I've said, you know what, I'm not going to spoon feed you. I'm not going to give you a bunch of Bible verses. I'm going to say, Google it. Look it up in the Bible. Because when you start to look it up for yourself, honestly, you're going to learn how to get through the Bible, and you're going to find things that I didn't even intend for you to find. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to give you this one verse because it addresses status pending. Okay, it's a little verse. It's not real well known. It's very obscure. It's in the book of John. I believe it's John 3:16. Now you need to go look that one up. If you have any question about whether or not your status is pending, that's the one you need to look up. Go look it up. Go study on it. Because everything before John 3:16 and everything after John 3:16 deals with details in the Bible. Okay, I don't want to say minutia because I don't want to discredit the value of everything that's in the Bible, because it is packed full, but it's pivotal on that one verse. And if you know that verse, and I'm hoping you do, if you know it and you've experienced it, then you don't ever have to wear that right there. You don't ever have to wear that, ever. Love you guys. Stay in the crazy.